So, Tony, what did you and your watch party find compelling about our third Distinguished Design Award winner?
Thank you, Don. I am pleased to announce our third design winner. The team dared to be bold. Along with addressing the core challenge of the competition, designing for energy independence for 2,000 homes, they chose to tackle the one daily routine affecting most rural households in Africa, the routine of cooking, specifically cooking with firewood. The World Health Organization reports that household air pollution, primarily from burning wood for cooking, is a major health concern. They emphasize that burning wood in traditional methods releases pollutants which cause respiratory and cardiovascular diseases. We have read reports of firewood use being a major driver for deforestation, most especially in developing countries, not to mention collecting firewood disproportionately affecting women and girls in these communities. This team's idea for a solution is to reimagine the cooking stove. Their idea for a hydrogen-fueled appliance was equal parts intriguing and terrifying. We all know of the shortcomings of hydrogen. The team's commitment to exploring the viability of this clean fuel source through prototyping the appliance they have coined the hydro stove was inspirational, and we indeed look forward to seeing where this exploration takes them. Our third Distinguished Design Award and $5,250 goes to Leeroy and Charlton H2 Energies.
Good evening, everyone. We are Charlton and Leeroy from H2 Energies, and we are excited to share our proposal for an energy independent residential community in Zimbabwe, the Rozvi Kingdom, designed to transform lives through sustainable infrastructure. Zimbabwe is facing a severe energy crisis. Over 67% of the population lives in rural areas, yet 90% of the households lack electricity. The country only produces 600 megawatts of the required 2,000 megawatts. Additionally, 90% of the rural households rely on firewood for cooking, driving deforestation and exposing families to deadly indoor air pollution. Women and girls are especially impacted, spending over 20 hours weekly collecting firewood, which limits education and economic opportunities. Given these challenges, rural communities urgently need clean and safe cooking energy, reliable lighting, safe nearby water sources, reliable charging infrastructure, internet connectivity, and electrified education and healthcare facilities. We chose Zvishavane in the Midlands province for our pilot community. It's a major mining hub, but miners often live far from the mines due to inadequate local housing. They commute weekly, which increases living costs and separates them from their families. Zvishavane also offers affordable land, and miners have the financial capacity to invest in nearby housing if basic infrastructure and amenities are provided. We assessed renewable energy options. Wind's potential is too low, with only 145 watt per square meter out of 1,000 watt square meters. However, solar's potential is extremely high, offering 2,000 kilowatt hours out of 2,400 kilowatt hours is the maximum, making solar the ideal choice for an off-grid energy solution. Thus, as a solution, we are proposing a 2,000 household solar-powered residential community to house mining families close to their working places. Each five-room unit will support a family of four and provide hydrogen cookstoves, solar-powered lighting, centralized water supply, shared device charging, Starlink Wi-Fi, and electrified clinics and schools. Now we move on to the design. The snippet shows the exact location of the Shawane on the Zimbabwean map, chosen for its very good road network as well as access to river. And on the left, we have the housing clusters with 200 housing units per cluster, forming 10 clusters, giving us 2,000 housing units. And these at the center have the Rovi Community Hospital and Rovi Community University. This is an overview of the Rozvi community with the Rozvi Community Hospital and University at the center. Then we have the housing clusters, uh, all clustering around laptop charging station as well as a shared backup borehole per 200 households. And that's a picture of a housing unit. This is our standardized floor plan, which includes 2 bedrooms, a kitchen, sitting room, study, bathroom, which is fully designed for functionality, privacy, and comfort. And this is an overview of a housing unit. We prioritized locally sourced sustainable materials, whilst also enhancing efficiency, durability, and local relevance. So for our materials, we chose skillion roofing at 18 degrees north facing for optimal solar exposure. We also chose fire bricks for walls because it's locally sourced from mine pits. Teak doors, which are durable and widely available in the region. And this is a detailed model of a housing unit with the required solar panels mounted on it. This is an overview of the composition of each housing unit, showing the capacity to support 4 occupants, that is 4 beds, as well as the other basic amenities. This is an overview of the power use per housing unit, which is optimized per each room, with a 600-watt DC hydrogen powered cook stove in the kitchen and 12-watt LED bulbs for lighting in each room, and a 100-watt Starlink router in the study room. Here is our hydro stove model, an innovative smoke-free hydrogen cook stove explicitly designed to reduce indoor air pollution while being safe, efficient, and clean for the Rozvi community. Here is our working hydrogen-powered cook stove prototype that we built, central to delivering clean, smoke-free cooking for every household in the Rozvi community. At the heart of the community is a local university, the Rozvi State University, aimed at building human capital and serving the growing needs of the community. And within the university, we have the Rozvi Community Hospital. The Rozvi Community Hospital is designed to be fully independent in its power needs, fully powered by solar and a backup of a wind turbine, a 923-watt turbine that we designed to cater for its needs during prolonged periods of low sunshine.
Okay, so for our water supply, it comes from the river, which is located around the university, and then it passes through the water treatment facility, and then it goes through the water distribution, and then finally it gets to our community for usage. So for each household, we wanted it to be a sustainable and green building. So we had to integrate it with the Edge Green Building Standards. So we had three main factors to consider. The first one, which is energy efficiency. So we wanted to achieve over 20% energy savings compared to the baseline. We also wanted to achieve over 25% of water savings, which will reduce utility reliance. And finally, we also wanted to optimize our materials and resources that we would use in making our buildings. So as for the building data, the whole house had about 2 bedrooms, and the total community size is about 2,000 homes. So each house averaged 63.75 meters squared, and the building cost, as per Zimbabwean standard, is about 130,000 Zimbabwean dollars, which amounts to around $9,000 United States. And it is estimated as a selling price of about 180,000 Zimbabwean dollars. So in terms of energy, we conserved about 22.46% more than an average house in Zvishavane. And this was due to different energy efficiency measures, such as an optimum window to wall ratio of about 16%, a reflective roof, which had a solar reflective index of 45%, and an insulation of roof of a U value of about 0.46%. So this met the age standard, which actually expects us to be about 20% better than a normal household in a community. In terms of water usage, we reached about 30% beyond a normal household. And this was due to different water efficiency measures such as a water efficient shower head, which had a flow rate of 6 liters per minute, and the use of a bathtub with no hot water. We also used water efficient faucets for all bathrooms with a flow rate of 2.2 liters per minute, as well as water efficient closets for all bathrooms with a flow rate of 6 liters volume of flush and 3 liters for small volumes of flush. With building materials, we actually achieved approximately 45% of the age standard because we used efficient materials which reduce the embodied carbon flow in these materials. So, in a nutshell, we our project has a floor area of about 82,875 meters squared, and this accounts for all the 2,000 houses. And our final energy use based on the age is about 183 kilowatts per month per house, and our final water use is 10 cubic meters per month per house, and final operation carbon emissions is around 0.16, and it's the final embodied carbon is 570, which are considerably small compared to a standard house in Zvishavane, which is a mining area. So as to how our electricals are connected, our key major supplies a solar panel, which from the charge controller we get the power that will power our hydrogen cook stove. We also have the power that will power each light in each room, as well as a DC fan. And we also have a battery for use in the evening where there's no sunshine. And from this, we also take the power that will be accounting for powering our Starlink, which will be our main internet connection. So as for the power specifications of these electrical elements, we are going to use a DC LED bulb for our lighting, and each has a power rating of 12 watts per unit. And then we're also going to use DC fans with a power unit of 15 watts per unit, and also a Starlink system that has a power of 50 watts each. And then our hydro stove, which is going to take much power, is going to get about 600 watts because it's going to be breaking water into hydrogen and oxygen, which requires a lot of energy. And then we also have a router, which will need about 10 watts per unit. So in total, we're gonna need about 3.5 kilowatts of energy for these electrical components. So all these systems come with a cost, but our off-grid system is much more cheaper than the on-grid one due to a number of reasons. So our total upfront cost is about $4,100, and this includes the price of a solar array, charge controller, battery bank, hydrogen stove, Starlink dish, router, amongst others. And in addition, we also have some other cost consideration, which we used 15 years as a benchmark. So this include battery replacement, maintenance, as well as Starlink subscriptions. Currently, they cost $100 per month, and this is expected to decrease over time because of wide usage. So in total, including Starlink subscription, the whole household will cost about $19,000, but without Starlink, it's just $8,100 dollars. So a standard household in Zimbabwe has an initial grid connection and installation of about $2,000 and a monthly electric bill of $150 per month. And because of this power cuts, we actually need a backup generator and installation, which costs another $2,000, and fuel and maintenance for that generator of around $2,200 per month. And in total, for the same 15 years, the cost for an on-grid Zim house is about $67,000, which is far much more than the 8,000 that I just presented for our household community in the last slide. So, in summary, our project provides affordable modern housing in rural areas with clean energy and water access, internet access, healthcare, as well as education. It shines as a sustainable and replicable model for a rural development. So, with that being said, our presentation comes to an end. My name is Charlton Mandaza, And on my side is Leeroy Magora. We're representing H2 Energies. Thank you for paying attention.